வணக்கம் விஎன்ஐ நேயர்களே. புதிய 2018 Tvs Apache RTR 164V என்ற பைக் அறிமுகம். இந்திய தேசிய மோட்டார் சைக்கிளின் ரேசிங் சாம்பியன்ஷிப் RTR 165 இலிருந்து உருவானது. இதனை Tvs Apache நிறுவனத்தின் துணை நிர்வாக இயக்குநராக திரு சுதர்சன் வேணு அவர்கள் புதிய ரக RTR 164V என்ற பைக்கை அறிமுகப்படுத்தியுள்ளார்.
I extend a warm welcome to each one of you on behalf of TVS Motor Company. Despite your busy schedules, many of you have made time and traveled from across the country to be with us here today. And thank you for making it. It is our delight to host you once again for another special announcement. Before we begin, may I request you to please put your cell phones on silent. Thank you. 2018 has begun on a promising note for TVS Motor Company with an exciting new scooter launch just a month back. New recognition on product quality from JD Power and of course the strong consumer response to our growing product portfolio. To talk more about the company's strategy, I would now like to invite on stage Mr. K.N. Radhakrishnan, President and CEO, TVS Motor Company.
Ladies and gentlemen, I extend a heartfelt welcome to everyone gathered here and those who have joined us on the live webcast from across India and in the world. It is indeed a pleasure to meet you once again in Chennai. Sorry for my throat, but I can't miss today's event. We have retained #1 position for customer satisfaction and quality for the last 4 years. Our products, both motorcycles, scooters, continue to lead in their respective categories in JD Power IQS and Appeal Service. Our recent product launches cater to distinct requirements for a growing set of young customers globally. The response to these products is overwhelming and we are extremely grateful to all our customers. For over a decade, TVS Apache RTR series with over 3 million customers worldwide, has truly leveraged the company's 35 years of racing heritage. The recently launched Apache RR310, a first foray into the super premium segment, has seen an excellent welcoming from the market. The new Apache RTR 200 4V Race Edition 2.0 that we launched last week takes the racing experience up by a significant notch, as this is enabled with the ART slipper clutch, a first in this segment. Tvs Apache has acquired substantial mindshare both in India as well as globally. It has always stood for the perfect mix of technology and racing dynamics, making it a relevant offering for customers across the globe. Tvs Apache is fast becoming one of the most loved brands with the racing enthusiasts around the world. We are very excited to unveil today the all-new Tvs Apache, which is born of the 6-time INMRC winning motorcycle, RTR 165 Group B category, and offers the best-in-class racing performance. Before I end, let me take a moment to acknowledge the team who have passionately created the superlative product that will provide our customers in over 60 countries with a best-in-class racing experience. Thank you once again for your time to attend this event. Thank you.
Good morning. A very warm welcome to all of you who've taken the time out to come here. We really appreciate you being with us. Similarly, I would also take this opportunity to thank more than 1 million people who are watching this live webcast across Latin America, Europe, Asia, as well as ASEAN regions, and Africa, of course. Thank you so much. Today is going to be, again, a very exciting day for us, because in the premium business, we are going to redefine something at the very entry level of this particular business that we do. To give you a brief sense of what we'll be speaking about today, the first I'll be touching upon the vision that we have at the Premium Vehicles Group at TVS Motor Company. What have we done in the last 4 months, 5 months or so? The premium market structure today that is existing, and of course, what has been our performance that Mr. Kena just touched upon. Of course, cannot be a presentation on TVS Apache without TVS Racing. That's our mother brand for this particular brand of motorcycles, and 35 years of leadership and what we have achieved in 2017-18. Just to give you a short snapshot before I take you into how the product has been conceived from our 6-time consecutive INMRC winning motorcycle, which is the RTR 165 Group B. And of course, a little more on the bike, which is the all-new platform of the 4-wall technology, and the new Apache, what it has, and of course the Apache experience, because today the Apache is not just a product, it is a brand which takes the experience of owning this beyond just owning the product, because experience is what brings alive. And I'm very happy to tell you today that we have something that is, again, something that we have done very uniquely different for our Apache consumers. So just to start with the vision, which I touched upon last time also when we met, for us it's extremely important to constantly delight our consumers through uniquely designed, thoughtfully engineered, and extremely desirable high-quality products and services that are delightfully executed. You saw this in the RR310, you see this in Apache. Every single Apache that we make, each of them, the fit and finish is absolutely, the focus is on immaculate. And that, I think, is testimony to the fact that we're won JD Power continuously on appeal scores for the last 4 years, especially on Apache. Now going forward, in terms of bringing this vision to life, because these are extremely tall words, how do we do that? It is with the product offensive, because nothing speaks of bringing a vision to life than the products, because this is a product industry. To give you a sense, we launched and completely redefined the super sport business as we know it in India. and across the world by bringing out the Apache RR310 with levels of performance in a 300cc motorcycle single cylinder, aerodynamics, as well as benchmark experience programs as to how we're going to engage with consumers and offer a choice of a product which is truly, when you say benchmark. It has a very different view of the market. It's going to invite and expand the market, like we always said, because at TVS we believe in expanding the market and growing the market. Secondly, we just introduced, like Mr. KNR said, the new generation of the Apache RTR 200 4V, which is called the Race Edition. It comes with the first-in-class ART slipper clutch, anti-reverse stock slipper clutch, in this segment, which is again a first. We are again bringing features from high-end race machines, which we use on our race prototypes, down to production spec bikes. And this is the story of Apache. And this is why it's been so successful, because we live, breathe, and really work on racing every single day. And finally, we've also introduced two small refreshes to update our existing 160 and 180 franchise by offering Race Edition decal work, which is a special commemorative Race Edition decal work, just a couple of weeks back. So this has been the kind of product offensive that we've put together in the last 3 months, starting December 6th. And taking this forward, it's very important why the focus is. The whole point is that as far as the premium market structure is concerned, today 1 out of 4 bikes, motorcycles sold in the country is now a premium bike. This is really a tipping point where we see that, you know, the premium bikes and the scooterization is going hand in hand and really redefining the way the Indian market operates. And I think it's also important to notice that today it's about 14% of the total two-wheeler market and 25% of the motorcycle market. Having said this, and because this segment is so important to us, how has been our performance? Just to briefly touch upon this, this segment has been growing at about 10% CAGR, which is the premium sports bike business, and we have been growing at close to 30%, which is about 3x the industry growth. In terms of the brand, it is now, TVS Apache is the second largest sports motorcycle in the country. And of course, we have, which is the most important thing for us, and something that we cherish much more than anything else, is we have 3 million racing enthusiasts across the world riding an Apache, which is made in India, engineered in India, designed in India, and people across the world ride them. This is truly special for us because this gives us the ambition to constantly keep on delighting them, which is a big part of our vision statement. But why, these are the numbers, but why does this happen? A huge part of why this happens is primarily because of the next slide, which I'm going to put up, which is about TVS Racing. 35 years of leadership, 35 years of something that we have done day in, day out, something we truly enjoy. And just to give you a sense, it is a part of our R&D at TVS Motors. TVS Racing is not a separate organization. It works as a part of the TVS R&D and works on almost every single Apache that we have ever built, that we have ever engineered, including they even test it. So we started in 82-83. We started with TVS Moped 50, where we touched a speed of more than 100 kilometers an hour. And that need for speed has continued till 2017-18, where, just to give you a sense, we're very happy to tell you that we had the best ever Dakar finish for us in the last 5 years. We had 14 championships win. This was a record year for TVS Racing as far as championships was concerned. We won 14 championships last year. Practically everything that we participated in, we won. And 6th consecutive INMRC road racing championship. I think this takes a lot of effort, and that you will see when you see what we bring out today. And this has been the leading point for the product that we have engineered and bringing, because Apache, as I told you before, is a lot about bringing race machines. It's not just being about another sports bike. Of course, they help us with racing technology, because when you are racing, you're really at the limit. You're really at the limit of what a machine can take. So the endurance of these bikes, the quality levels of these bikes are also absolutely at the limit. They're at the top notch of what a quality bike can offer in that level of performance. Finally, they help us with engineering each and every product, because they're a part of our R&D setup, and that's the big strength that we get from them. All our R&D heads are from TVS Racing or have worked in TVS Racing before, which also gives us a lot of confidence, because for us, all of them are people who race. who have raced or have been involved with racing. And there is absolutely no debate at any point of time for why this is so important to us. And I think that shows also because they're also involved in testing each and every product that they develop. And that's why when you ride an Apache, you always know that you get the most ridingly dynamic bike that is available in its class. With this, and with TVS Racing being so big, and because we're celebrating 35 years of our TVS Racing franchise, we have made a small video which captures, I mean, a lot of people know about what we have won and what we have not won, but more importantly, we wanted to capture the essence of why we race. What is the fundamental reason why we are in the business of racing and creating race machines, and then having Apache, which is born out of that expertise. So this is a small video which we'd like to show you about the 35 years of TVS Racing and why we race.
When the world sleeps. Every single day. Why train alone? Why do the same thing? Again and again. Lap after lap. Day in, day out. Why jump? Why glide? Why fly? Why fall? Why get back up? Why lose? Why win? Why do it? Because if it gets your heart racing, it's worth doing. TVS Racing, 35 years of engineering goosebumps.
This is what you will see when you ride the bikes tomorrow, or if you're going to see the bike when they roll out, as to why each and every bike has so much of racing built into it. Because this is what we know best. Just to give you a sense of our business portfolio, we have now two different distinct kind of bikes in our portfolio. One, of course, is the naked race machines that we make, and then the super sports. So we have the RTR series, which caters to the naked bikes, and then we have the RR310, which is the first and the top-notch Apache that we have in the super sport arena. And now, going forward, in the naked race machines, our portfolio looks like this. We have a 160, 180, and a 200 with a 4-valve, which I just briefly spoke to you about, which was launched a week back again. And this gives us a very, very strong portfolio. But having a strong portfolio is not good enough, because and in this segment, when we are having to deal essentially with a global audience, because Apache for us is a global brand. It's an Indian engineered design brand, but the quality levels as well as the aspirations and ambitions of all of us is to create a brand that is truly going to transcend across barriers across the world, because we have taken it upon ourselves to democratize racing across the globe in this segment. And that's why it has to have the appeal across the world. And for that, we need to be very clear about what next can we offer, because we have done something at the top of the chain with the middleweight with RR310. Now what is it that we can do at the entry level of this segment, which really takes the game to the next level, because that's what has been the history of Apache. So, ladies and gentlemen, introducing to you the all-new RTR 4-wall platform, the engine which is completely derived and defined from our RTR 165 would-be spec. I'll speak about the spec, which will excite a lot of you. The styling inspired by a braking concept which we showed last time, which is also where the RTR 200 4V finds its essence. A racing prototype derived chassis, and I'll speak more about this because this is something truly unique. And race diagnostics. This is something which forms the package of this new platform, of this all-new platform. In terms of the bike itself, yes, it is the RTR 164 wall that we're going to show you today. It's born out of the 6-time IMRC championship winning bike. It will be in its class the ultimate performance benchmark. It will be the powerhouse of performance like every other Apache is. It has to be a screamer, and this it will be again. In terms of dynamics, absolutely tested by TVS racing riders, which is Jagan, Harry, Aishwarya, and others, Ahmed, and definitely with razor sharp riding dynamics, which is so essential for an Apache RTR to have. And a signature RTR DNA design, which you will see when you see the power. This is not meant to be a sports bike. We have developed this to be a race machine, even though it's at the entry level of the premium segment. And that's why it's going to redefine this entire. Just to give you a sense about the powertrain, it's born from the RTR 165 GP Proto, patented race-derived O3C 4-wall technology. It's all-cooled combustion chamber, 4-valve. We are going to offer it in 2 specs. One is carb, and one is electronic fuel injection from day one. Best-in-class power-to-weight ratio. The lowest piston inertia in its class to allow as much revving as you can, because we have a 4-wall nature, so the ability to rev has to be very, very good. And at some point, definitely, if we have to further take it up, it makes a lot of sense to keep it lightweight. Sound engineered for a signature growl, because that is something that is truly unique to RTR bikes. They have a very raw T signature, and that's what really marks the presence of a race machine. In terms of the design, and this is where we are very lucky, because all our designers ride, all our designers race actually. So each one of them, when they design a bike, they know exactly who they're talking to. And that's important for us, because when we put out the Draken concept, the kind of response that we got gave us a lot of confidence into what kind of design direction do we need to take forward. And that's what we have done. This particular concept, again, is inspired by the Draken concept. It's a compact race design, what we call. Very ready to attack stance, even when it will still look like it's in dynamic motion. It comes for the first time with race checkered flag insignia decals, because it's from a racing bike, and it needs to reek of racing bikes even when you look at it. And of course, in terms of racing diagnostic, it comes with the entire plethora of more than 25 telltale signs on different diagnostic which this brand offers. In terms of 0 to 60 speed, in terms of shift indicators, everything, rev, everything, 2 trips. So a very packed in, feature loaded digital dashboard. In terms of dynamics, it comes with a patented racing synchro stiff chassis with 58% more lateral stiffness and about 22% more torsional stiffness. This truly is benchmark, because you will understand when we say race machine, we really mean it. This time, we really have taken the frame very closely from the GP Proto. In terms of aerodynamics, it has the lowest in class coefficient of downforce, which is about 0.416 coefficient of lift force. Lift force is actually the opposite, but it's used to measure as a unit for downforce. So absolute benchmark in that. Race-tuned Showa suspensions from Japan, Showa Japan. Monotube floating piston technology from our R310. Exactly same technology. So we are bringing the best of what we have to offer, even at the entry level. Front and rear pedal disc brake options, and also engineered and tested by TVS Racing. More than 30,000 laps in different simulated conditions, and more than 3,000 to 4,000 laps on test tracks have been completed by TVS Racing riders with this particular bike, and across different terrains. So a huge amount of input has come in from TVS Racing as far as this bike is concerned. Now, as far as the variants, it has 3 different variants. It comes with carb, with front disc brake, in carb front and rear, and also in EFI, which comes standard with front and rear disc brake. So a plethora of options for where you can choose and enter the segment. In terms of experience, this is the most important, because for us, like I told you before, this is now becoming a brand which is bigger than the product, though product is the central core of what the brand promises. But we have taken this forward to bring our platform across the world, where we have customers across Latin America, Europe, parts of Europe where we sell, Africa, and Asia, come together to participate in this. We have the Apache Racing Experience, which will get on with this bike. There will be a special ARE tuned Apache 164V, where people can come in and ride across 3 different levels with Harry, Jagan, Aishwarya, Ahmed, all the leading racing champions in this country. We have the One Make Championship, which will also now include this bike. It's a satellite program with a satellite race spec setup. Then we have the Apache Owners Group. I'm happy to tell you today we have more than about 30 Apache owner groups in India, in addition to more than 100 groups across the world. We have groups in Colombia, we have groups in Guatemala, we have groups in Central America, we have groups in Africa, we have groups in Asia. So we truly have a community of racing enthusiasts from across the world. And this is what gives us the strength to take this brand to the next level, because to delight them, we have to be absolutely at the benchmark. In terms of engine, when I was speaking about it, this bike, I would be failing if I don't mention it, will be with 16.8 bhp, which will be the new class benchmark, and absolutely the number 1 in terms of power and performance. Finally, we're also starting the factory tour program, which we have for the RR310. We're now extending it across, and people who have owned the bike or any Apache can subscribe to this, and they will get a no-holds-barred tour of our entire factory and get to meet the people who make this day in, day out, get to meet the people who test it day in, day out, and really get a sense of how their Apache is built on the line and how it's tested before it comes to them, to dealerships in box fresh condition. So with that, this would be the end of my presentation, and lead you into the product unveil. Can we have the product unveil video as well as the launch sequence, please? Thank you so much.
Good afternoon, everybody. I will explain to you the development story and the technical details behind this product. This product is born out of our racing experience, and there is a strong connect between the Draken concept, which was based on our racing DNA, and the product development from styling, engine, chassis to aerodynamics has been designed based on our racing experience. Here you can see the connection of the DNA of Draken concept to Apache 160. These are the design details from sketch onwards, how we started developing the sketch, and the sketch was put into reality with engineering efforts. Further design details and sketches of 160cc. The blue and white graphics and color combination details are based on what we race, and the racing product last 3 years what we have raced 165cc is connected to this. Now we come to engine technology and engine performance. This is the most powerful engine in this class with 16.8 horsepower and 14.8 Newton meter torque. So it is far ahead of the competition, and the details how we have achieved this is given in this slide. The oil-cooled combustion chamber is based on our racing experience that the more we keep the combustion chamber cool, we are able to run the engine at much higher power output. Much more colder engine means much more breathing and torque, and that means good response. The details of the oil cooling and the oil flow inside the combustion chamber are seen here. Further, the oil cooler needs extra air from the front end by the aerodynamics, and so there are passages given in the styling parts under the tank which gives ram effect to cool the oil cooler much better. This is a unique muffler which has got engineered sound quality, which sounds as powerful as the engine is, and the whole engineering of the muffler has been done with frequency analysis and tuned to depict the power output of the engine. The frequency diagram and the optimized exhaust sound intensity can be seen here in this diagram. Engine performance, as you can see here, 16.8 PS for RTR 41, while the reference comparison vehicles are at least 1 horsepower below or even 2, and this is how the performance can be seen here. This has resulted into fastest acceleration by almost 0.8 seconds faster than all other bikes, which is 4.7 seconds for 0 to 60, and the speed reached in 2 seconds. This is far ahead, 34.7 kilometers as against 31 or 32 for the competition. We have fuel injected version also, and the fuel injected version is the details of the fuel injection technology, including ideal control system and heated oxygen sensor. The system is a closed loop system for meeting the future emission requirements. The injector is designed to get a very clear twin cone where there is no intake tube wall waiting, or any area there is no fuel deposited on any wall, so that highest possible combustion with minimum hydrocarbon can be achieved. The 3D ignition map is, there are 30 different maps, 10 maps under cold driving conditions, 10 for normal and 10 for warm conditions of the engine, and each map is optimized for speed, load and the dynamics of the response. So this is what gives the racing throttle response. Now we come to vehicle technology and vehicle performance. Vehicle technology details are here. Many of these details we will go through in more detail. The design approach has been to get best balance for city driving, highway driving and track driving, and this is a very difficult task which is achieved by studying each and every area, stability, maneuvering, cornering speeds, and cornering ability of the whole bike is optimized under city driving condition and on racetrack. The modeling and simulation is done by multi-body dynamics. We have also options available for tires, which are stock tires or off-road tires, to extend the usefulness of the performance of the bike. The suspension is precision tuned, which is by all our expert riders, and the expert riders from Showa jointly have worked on the racetrack, have worked in normal city, street driving, and we have achieved best optimization for high precision driving. The ergonomics and seat comfort details are seen in this slide. We use digital human model for multiple iterations of different size of people, different comfort levels, and the suspension as well as the comfort go hand in hand, and so seat design and ergonomics are seen in this diagram. With this, we have subjectively evaluated the vehicles for excellent high-speed stability and easy to ride in city in terms of effort for handling. For the effort for handling as well as ease of riding and excellent high-speed stability, in both the cases the vehicle is higher than its benchmark vehicles. Now we come to the fully digital speedometer. This has got so many features and so many different interactive points that you will see the vehicles when you see the conditions of the details. But this will be ahead of everybody, and there are many features which are day-to-day use, and there is alphanumeric display in addition to the usual fixed display for the LCD.
Not just another sports bike, it's a race machine. The all-new TVS Apache RTR 164V. Racing DNA unleashed. Test racing today.
இது வந்து TVS Apache 164 well ப்ராடக்ட் லான்ச் பண்ணியிருக்கோம். இது வந்து 35 years of டிவிஎஸோட ரேசிங் எக்ஸ்பீரியன்ஸ்லேருந்து அந்த ஹெரிட்டேஜ்லேருந்து இந்த ப்ராடக்ட் வந்திருக்கு. 6 times INMRC அந்த ஈவெண்ட்டில் வின் பண்ண அந்த எக்ஸ்பீரியன்ஸ்லேருந்து இந்த ப்ராடக்ட் டெவலப் பண்ணியிருக்கோம். ஐ எம் வெரி ஷுவர் தட் இந்த ப்ராடக்ட் வந்து ஆல் ரேசிங் என்தூசியாஸ் இன் இந்தியா வில் லவ் இட். நாட் ஓன்லி இன் இந்தியா, உலக நாட்டிலேயே எல்லா இடத்துலையுமே இந்த ப்ராடக்டை வந்து we are very confident that they will love it. இது வந்து எக்ஸ்-ஷோரூம் ப்ரைஸ் டெல்லியில் அந்த என்ட்ரி அது 81,490 ஆரம்பித்து இதில் ஃபியூலிங் வெர்ஷன் இருக்குது, அது வந்து 89,990. இதில் வந்து ஒரு ரியர் டிஸ்க் வெர்ஷன் இருக்குது, அது வந்து 84,490.